A lot of people told me that if I got ovarian PRP, that my AMH would go up a little bit. I haven't seen that, but what I will say is that my antral follicle count did go up. Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Helen and I started this YouTube channel just a couple of years ago when I was starting my IVF journey abroad in Korea. I actually live in the States, but I came to Korea for IVF treatments and I can't believe it, but it's already been a couple of years since I started. I started when I was 40 and now I am almost 42. And so, oh my God, it's so crazy that I've been doing this for so long. Anyway, it's been a couple years and the reason why it's taking me a little longer than other women is because I have a condition called DOR, diminished ovarian reserve. It basically means that I have less eggs in the vault than other women my age. And so it's just taking me a little bit longer to get to that perfect egg. But I am in the last stretch of IVF here in Korea. I have been traveling back and forth from the States to Korea to get IVF treatments for the past couple of years. And I think, I'm gonna try one last time and hopefully it works. And if not, I am really open to other ways of becoming a mother too. So that's where I am right now. I'm giving it my absolute all and hopefully my baby will come to me soon. If you are interested in getting IVF in Korea like me, it is a service that I do provide with other women who have navigated this whole process of getting IVF in Korea before. And so we've already helped a lot of women come to Korea to get IVF. We've seen IVF babies born from this. So it's just incredibly fulfilling work that I feel like we're doing. And if you are interested in getting more affordable, more efficient, world-class fertility clinics and doctors and embryologists for a fraction of the price that you would see in the States or Canada or wherever you're from, consider reaching out to us to ask us your questions and see if Korea is the right path for you. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I usually have very structured videos, but today I wanted to just kind of go through some of my comments and questions and messages that you all have left me. And this is across all different platforms, right? So I'm just gonna take 5 very common questions that I get from you all and see if I can answer them. Okay, the first question is, have you tried ovarian PRP? This is actually the most common question that I get, or I actually have a lot of people recommending it to me as advice to get it. But to answer this question, yes, I have gotten it twice. I got it 4 months ago, and then 2 months later, I had another round of PRP. So I've gotten it twice. My AMH did not go up. A lot of people told me that if I got ovarian PRP, that my AMH would go up a little bit. I haven't seen that, but what I will say is that my antral follicle count did go up. Back then, I was getting like 1 or 2 follicles at most, maybe 3, but I always also had a dominant follicle, so the other one would just be like a very tiny one and it wouldn't matter. So basically I would get like 1 egg per cycle. This cycle, I haven't done the retrieval yet, but right now we are seeing through the ultrasound like 7 or 8 follicles, and they're not all growing at the same rate, but a lot of them are very even sized. So I haven't had that in a really long time. So I would say that ovarian PRP does work because I don't understand what else it would be. Oh, I had taken DHEA for a while, so it might have been that. We'll never really know, but I did ovarian PRP. I took some DHEA. Even though my DHEA was already high, my doctor told me to take it anyway. So maybe it's one of those, I don't really know. But if this is something that you're interested in hearing more about, ovarian PRP, then I can do a whole video about it. So let me know in the comments below. And yeah. Okay, on to the next question. Okay, another common question that I get is about my Mira Hormone Monitor. They wrote, hey, what I don't understand is if you're getting hormones through IVF, how relevant are the measurements? I want to get one as well, but I don't see the point if what I'm going to be seeing are not my real hormone levels, if that makes sense. So I understand the confusion here, because when you're on IVF stims, you're injecting yourself with hormones. So, I mean, do you really need to test to see if those hormones are there or not? It's not your real hormones. So I get that. But there are a few different things that I use Mira for during IVF. And the first one is figuring out on day 2 or 3 of my cycle, which is when I would start stims, before I start the injections, is my FSH normal or is it really high? Because if your FSH is really high on day 2 of your cycle, it basically means that your ovaries are kind of straining themselves a little bit and they might not be in the best condition. I mean, even with a high FSH, people have seen really good results with IVF before, but it is an indication that your ovaries are overworking, if that makes sense. So I do test on day 2 or 3 before I go into stims. I do track even throughout stimulation phase. I'm just interested to see if the medication is working or not, really. The thing that I use Mira for the most would be to make sure that my hormone levels go back to normal after I'm done with stimulation phase. Sometimes after all the meds, my estrogen just falls, it crashes, and I start spotting. And that's because my uterine lining is very thin because my estrogen is low. And I sometimes need to check that to see if that's the issue. And then I tell my doctor, and then my doctor will give me medication or whatever to help me fix the problem. Another reason why I use Mira is right after stimulation phase. After the egg retrieval, I want to make sure that my progesterone actually does go up and it's like a regular cycle after ovulation. I just want to make sure that my hormones are on track and my cycle is normal. As normal as it can be, right? During IVF, it's hard to ever, be normal during IVF, but anyway. If you are interested in buying a Mira Hormone Monitor for yourself, now's a good time because there's a sale going on and you can use my code Helen for 20% off. And so I'll share the link and everything in the description below as well as the comments, so you can go check it out. Okay, third question. I would love to hear from you how you managed to not get triggered by seeing young couples in restaurants or church carrying a baby with a toddler. Frankly, I get quite affected by it. Honestly, I picked this comment because it's something that I get very often. It's about being triggered by all these babies and pregnancies in the outside world. And there's nothing that we can really do about that, right? It's such a tough one because how do you not get triggered? And the short answer is, well, I do get triggered. I think it's really important when these triggers come up to just kind of let yourself feel it. If you try to block it or suppress it, it will come out in the weirdest ways. I know from personal experience, it just comes out in very, very weird ways, awkward ways. So my advice is when you do get triggered by all of these things in the outside world, I do recommend that you have a little bit more grace with yourself, because it's normal that you get triggered. It's a reminder that you're not there yet. If you see a pregnant friend, or if you see, couples with like a little baby, because you want it, you want it so badly. One thing that I have started to do that has made me feel a lot better, and I hope this advice is something that you can take into consideration as well, is whenever I see a pregnant friend or a couple with a baby or a toddler running around, I really now take it in as a sign that my baby is near. And when I started kind of shifting my perspective in that way, it just made me feel a little bit more comfortable living in the world. Because if you kind of feel like, oh my God, I'm triggered by this and this and this and this, it's so hard to just like be out there. You just have to be inside at all times. And that's really tough. It's not good for your mental health either to just be completely isolated. So I think a shift in perspective has really, really helped me in becoming less triggered. I still get triggered. I think everybody, it's freaking normal. Like, I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. Let yourself feel everything and then release it. Okay, triggers are the perfect segue into the next comment, which is more of a rhetorical question. I don't think that she actually meant for me to answer it, but here we go. Just a reminder that adoption exists. Why is it that when God decides something isn't meant for someone, they will fight and push against it? I get that people want a biological child of their own, but please give me a different reason. Not to give too much light to this comment, but I do think that something needs to be called out when it's not cool. I do think that a baby is meant for me, and that's why I'm striving to have one. It may take me a little bit longer to get one, but it is my journey, it is my path. Like, I am considering adoption, donor egg. I am thinking about those things all the time. And I'm looking into them while I'm doing IVF as well. So it's not like I've blocked myself from other routes of becoming a mother. And I just found that this comment was incredibly unkind and triggering. It's unfortunate because I sense a lot of judgment in some of the comments. Not in my community. I feel like my community is really loving and supportive and, for the most part, really empathetic. But once in a while, I do see these types of comments, and it sucks because you'll see 1,000 really kind comments, and then you see one that's like really unkind, and it really breaks your heart. So I'm not taking this in, but I do have to call it out and say this is not the way that you really talk to people who are going through IVF or infertility. Yeah, it's just not cool. So I'll just leave it at that. And last but not least, this one's from my Facebook group. Hi loves, just want to ask if aside from the prenatal vitamins, should we take a separate folic acid, and what brand can you recommend? And does taking collagen help too? You do not need to take a separate folic acid apart from your prenatal, but make sure that you take methylfolate, which is often considered better than folic acid because it's I think it's the bioavailable form of folate, and your body can use it immediately. It's the active bioavailable form of folate. And usually doctors recommend between 400 to 800 micrograms, but mine is a lot higher, and this is the one that I recommend because it's just 1 pill a day. Some of these prenatals, oh my goodness, they make you take more than one, which I think is insane. this is the Theralogics. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, it's the Theralogics Prenatal Core, and it's the preconception vitamin and mineral supplement with 90 tablets. And you just take one per day. And this one has a really high methylfolate amount per tablet. Hold on. It's got the smallest ingredient list. Oh, here it is. Okay. 1,334 micrograms DFE. Oh my gosh, it's like so tiny. I mean, how do you read that? It's so tiny. And also, I take collagen peptides. I take vital proteins, collagen peptides. I will link it below if you want to go check it out. But it's just powder, right? And then I put a couple of scoops in my coffee or my tea. I don't really drink coffee anymore, but I put a couple of scoops in my tea every day, or my decaf coffee. So, and collagen will be very beneficial for you, for your fertility. And not a lot of people know about this, but instead of getting into it, I'll just link a video from Julie Zenning. She recently put out a video talking about how collagen is beneficial for fertility. So I'll just put that in the description so you can check it out. Okay, so I think I'll do this more often. This is fun. I love looking through your comments and questions and engaging with you. It's just so much fun. And quick update about my IVF journey. So I am currently on my last cycle ever, hopefully. So I am on my 13th cycle, 13th egg retrieval. I'm on stims right now. I have an egg retrieval in a couple of days. So tonight I have to trigger. Yeah, and like I said before, we're seeing like 7 follicles, 7 or 8. We don't know yet. I think 7. But like 3 or 4 of them are pretty good mature sizes. And this is just so much better than my 1 or 2 that I get per month. But then at the same time, you know, you just never know, because all of these might turn out to be empty or not good. I don't know. So I am just going to keep my expectations neutral and just go with the flow, and hopefully everything will work out. Forgive me if I'm a little slower to update about my IVF journey. It's just I need a little time to process everything before I update, and also editing takes a little bit of time. So yeah. Other than that, thank you so much for your comments. Please do comment below if there are any questions that you want answered. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and please subscribe to my channel, and please share this video with somebody that you feel like it might benefit. And please comment below, because I love hearing from you, and I will talk to you soon.